Any real attempt to foster sustainable human development must take into consideration four important factors. Those factors we will look at today. In addition to looking at those factors, I will introduce you to Abraham Maslow, the father of humanistic psychologist, and his thesis. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the author of several books, including Billionaire Codes. Welcome to today's broadcast of Global Impact Theory. This program comes to you with a complement of global branding and marketing. Global branding and marketing is a management consultancy firm that is literally involved in helping businesses to identify their market, build their corporate identity, integrate their products and services regionally and internationally. But of course, having said all of that, global branding and marketing, we also wear the hat as humanitarians, because humanitarian interest runs within our DNA. Today, I wear the hat as a humanitarian. And as we look at today's issue, sustainable human development. What exactly does this means to you? There is a great mind, and that individual is known as Abraham Maslow. In the year 1942, he introduced a unique concept to the world known as the hierarchy of human needs. And in this hierarchy of human needs, it helped the world to understand what are some of those basic needs of humanity. I started this conversation here today because of the fact that I recently engaged in a conversation with a group of academics, and I say to them that we need a new corporate culture, a new global corporate culture, for the simple reason that today's corporate culture is not designed to enable the human capital to self-actualize or to reach their full potential. And the argument that they put forward is that humanity is so consumed with their basic needs that no one has time with self-actualization. That is quite true. But let's take that for face value. If that is true, and people are so caught up with their basic needs, and I will explain what the basic needs is now, they're so caught up with their basic needs that there's no time and attention that they can give to reach that point of self-actualization. What does it say? It says that every company that wants the best for the growth of their organization, the diversification of their organization, the integration of their organization into world trade is going to be significantly hampered if a wide cross-section of the human capital within the workforce are so caught up with their basic needs. And that is a true statement. Let's look at the basic needs for example. Basic needs, it represents air, water, food, rest, and I include exercise. And there's a reason why. Now, what the research is showing is that the average man today spends most of his time thinking about food. And these are the basic needs. Now, one of the reasons also why I raise this one, because when people mention the basic needs, I very often do not believe that they're getting the whole picture. surrounding the basic needs. So I'm going to attempt to go a little deeper into human and their basic needs, but let me raise another issue here. The human capital, to optimize human capital, to optimize their performance, to get them to that point to reach self-actualization, it's important that we see the human capital in 4 essential areas. One, it's important that we see the human capital and their biological needs, their sociological needs, their physiological need, and their psychological need. If we're going to look at human resource development simply based on the provision of an academic content, it means that you're missing the bus completely. Let me explain. Very often the air that we breathe is not the healthiest air. And if it is not the healthiest air, it will affect our biology. It will affect our physiology. It will affect our psychology, and it will also affect our sociology. In-depth research into these issues as it relates to human sustainable development has been examined. Global Brand and Marketing have also embarked on our research, and these are the findings that we would have found. Now, so it's important to recognize the impact of the basic needs to human performance. It's not just to say you give them these needs and it will automatically optimize their performance. Let's now look at water. How important is water? Water is essential, but this is what happens. Even the water that we drink today, the water is laced with something that we call chlorine. And what does the chlorine do? It stores in a particular part of our body, the brain, that we call the pineal gland. And when it is stored there, it affects how the brain functions. And many of us today, we consume water without a clear understanding of the impact, the biological impact it's having, the physiological impact it's having, the psychological impact it's having, ultimately the sociological impact it's having on us. We simply consume. This means that we have to become more conscious of the air that we are breathing, more conscious of the water that we are drinking, and coming to food. Today we are eating food that is genetically modified, which we call GM. In the factories in the developed world, they can show you artificial eggs. They can show you animals that is growing with hormone to fast track their growth. And when you eat these things, many of you have absolutely no idea the impact it's having on your biology, your physiology, your psychology, and ultimately, again, your sociology. So it's important to see food not only as food to consume, but food that is designed to optimize human performance. And it's important for us to understand this because this is what happens. When you design an academic content and you say the academic content is the content that is designed to help humans to reach the peak point of their development, yes, you may have a strong academic content, but if the human biology is not working the way it's supposed to work because of the air, the water, the food that is being intaken, it's going to affect all of these areas. Now let's talk about rest. This is another important factor in human performance. The scientists has also shown that 6 to 8 hours is essential time for you to rest. But can anyone say why? There's something that we call when you rest, it literally rejuvenates the body. It rejuvenates the mind. It is something that we call the melatonin. And when the body is melatonin dehydrated because of lack of rest, again, it affects the biology, it affects the physiology, it affects the psychology, and of course it will affect the sociology. At this level you have the issue of melatonin, serotonin, and healthy dopamine. These are important issues to be addressed as we attempt to foster human sustainable development. In the absence of looking at human resource development, sustainable human development, based on the academic content, if the academic content doesn't take these 4 critical issues into consideration, it can significantly undermine how the human resource develops. Exercise is also very important to the human capital. Any attempt to gain to foster sustainable human development has to go beyond just the academic content, but it has to focus on all 4 of these areas. But it goes deeper. As one examines the father of humanistic psychologist, which is Abraham Maslow, and his thesis in relation to human needs, and it begins with the basic needs. This only addresses the basic needs. But what the facts are shown here is that even at the basic needs, human basic needs, let's take for example China. Because of heavy industrialization in China, their air is very polluted. We need to do regular air tests to ensure this has to be done both internal and external to the organization. We have to do water tests to ensure that the water that we're consuming, it is working in complement with our biology. Because if anything affects the biology, it will affect the physiology, the psychology, and the sociology. The same goes for our food. We have to become more conscious. We have to go back to organic foods. Rest. We need to also understand this. So, as we begin to engage in discussion and debate as it relates to sustainable human development, it's important for us to look at these issues. It's important for us to understand these fundamental issues that is the pillar of sustainable human development. The other issue that I want to emphasize, because it goes deeper, much deeper than this. The human capital, we also have to evolve from the basic needs. There's 4 other essential needs that has to be looked at. There's one that we call the security needs, the social needs, the esteem needs, and self-actualization. At Global Branding and Marketing, we have done in-depth research, in-depth analysis, and we have documented a new thesis that is designed to truly help the human capital to reach that point of self-actualization. Because it is our belief that we need to look at academic and the academic content. Academic currently is being prescribed in a way that I have to call unhealthy. I make this statement because of the fact if any one of you go to a doctor because you are experiencing some difficulty, physically or psychologically, and that doctor just prescribe to you without diagnosing, you would raise your eyebrow, and most likely you would say that that doctor is certainly not a qualified doctor. But here is dichotomy. What do we do to our children and to future generations when we enlist them into the classroom and we do no diagnosis in terms of their aptitude level, in terms of their passion and their dreams and their hopes and their aspirations? We do absolutely no alignment tests. We have a system that says one size fits all. That is doing exactly what a doctor would do if he is not a qualified doctor. It's important to do a diagnosis before we prescribe. Sadly so, in my research across the universe, I have not seen anything that is coming close to an academic institution that is truly academically aligned to the individual true sense of self. Academic is rolled out in a context where one size fits all. I want to challenge the global education system. I came through the system, and I want to challenge the global education system by simply saying that we need a new formula. We need a new approach that is first of all empathetic, and it's better aligned to serve the individual at the individual level, just like a doctor would. We need to start prescribing. We need to start diagnosing before we as educators prescribe. Yes, I know it's a long journey to do that, but think about it. Think about the results that you're going to get. What my research is showing is that the 1% of the people who excel in what they do, they're the people that understand their passion, they understand their giftedness, they understand their purpose, and they live in complete alignment to those things. Just think about it. We created a global education system that is better aligned to help our young people to become fully aligned to who they are, their true sense of self, truly aligned to their giftedness. Just think about it. Just food for thought. At Global Branding and Marketing, when we learn our humanitarian hat and we talk about human research development, we speak to human research development from this perspective. A lot of work has to be done to truly help the human capital to reach that point of self-actualization. In the world today, we have less than 15% of our global population that reaches that point of self-actualization. As a humanitarian, I have to ask the question, why that is so? We believe that we have developed a new system that can truly help the human capital to self-actualize across the workplace. And just let me make this quick statement in closing. The last conversation I had with a number of managers, we agree that based on the structure of the organization, and let's take for example the organization has 100 employees. It's practically impossible for every member of that organization in 5 or 10 years to reach the most senior level in our organization. And it appears as though people see that as self-actualization, reaching your full potential. But reaching your full potential in the organization, from the perspective that we have developed this program, has absolutely nothing to do with the individual climbing the corporate ladder. But it has everything to do with empowering the individual to have a sense of self, to have a sense of purpose, to have a sense of direction with their lives, and you give them that support to accomplish these things. What our research has shown is that people function better in every area of their lives when they understand their purpose, their passion, and their gifts. So if we're going to be serious about this discussion on sustainable human development, these are important points, important factors to be taken into consideration. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the author of several books, including Billionaire Codes. It has been a pleasure to meet you today, and I look forward to be with you in another podcast. Be blessed until.